it takes work. There's
Yeah,
no shortcut to it. There's no easy route to it. And what I wanted to ask you about is the medicine side of it, the pharmaceutical side of it, right? You have people who are in these fears and they go to certain um, I'm very bad at this, but psychiatrists or like
yeah,
people
okay.
who deal with, yeah,
Or
people who deal,
psychologist, depends.
psychologists, yes. So and often than not, I've seen that whatever their problem, whatever the root cause of their issue was never addressed, but they were always given medicines
Mhm.
such as, I mean, if I read over here, antidepressants, benzos. This is what rappers talk about, beta blockers, and yeah, other anxiety blocking or anxiety suppressing medicines. And I think this has also Xanax as well. Like I think this has also become like a culture as well, that we see in movies, that we see, that we listen in rap songs as well. That all of these people are on these things and they're just like not facing. It's like what you talked about, the bulls, right? They're just heading away from the storm, not
Yeah,
into it.
same thing. Same thing. It's like not curing the bruise, but just applying a band-aid. And you have to apply that band-aid again and again and again for the rest of your life. The bruise is always going to be there. So that's one way of doing it, lazy way of doing it, not putting in any effort way of doing it. But and that's what most people do, and it affects them in more negative ways than why the problem began. Like there's so many side effects to these things. I'm not a huge fan of medicine. It does have its place in our healthcare system and in our bodies, but I'm not a big fan of it. There is so many, majority of the things we take medicines for are curable by ourselves, and fear is one of them, right? So like we were talking, it takes work, but not this kind of work. Psychiatrists would give you these medicines. If you go see a psychologist, that might be helpful in the sense, because psychologists aren't allowed to prescribe medicines, they just talk. And through talking, they can make you more aware of your situation, where that fear stems from. The funny thing is that we're going to go over some chief fears later on, but those, that fear isn't even the real fear. It stems from something else, and we'll come to that. But the biggest problem is that these emotions, fear being one of them, are habits, and we've been taught maths and science and history, but we've never been taught to deal with our emotions. Not from our parents, not from society, not from our family, and not in
Yeah,
school,
for
right?
sure.
And that is the biggest problem here. Fear isn't bad, it's how you respond to it is bad. I thrive off of my fear. It's what helps me grow. It's just uh, learning to respond to that.